Hello, this is David from DN Cognitive Counseling. I first want to say thank you to our first patron on Subcribe-star. We thank you very much for your support, and we hope that others will join. There are two ways to use the parenting webinars that I'm putting out. The first one is for you to utilize it to deal with your own children. The other is to take a look at things that you've been taught in your own childhood and certain things that may have come out of it because of that. As always, I'm open to hearing about comments and thoughts and questions from anybody out there who has one, and I'd be very happy to address that. With that in mind, today we're going to be talking about giving affection. For those of you who saw the Joe Biden video, you understand I was talking about limits and limit setting in giving affection. But we have to understand that we have to teach our children what is appropriate affection and inappropriate affection. We teach our children about the idea of stranger danger, and we teach that pretty well today. We tell them about the idea that if somebody's a stranger, you don't go with them, and learning how to say no. We have to have that same conversation about touch. Considering how many situations there's out there today with teachers, priests, other clergy, friends, family members that violate these boundaries on a pretty consistent basis, it is imperative that we teach our children how to express themselves when they feel violated, when they feel somebody went over their space, and how to stand up for themselves. Then we have to help them to balance what is appropriate and sometimes the ability to accept touch from somebody that's not always comfortable, such as from a grandma or grandpa who's coming over to hug or kiss. And we have to help them to understand where those limitations are. But we have to get that clear on our own heads what we think is right and wrong. Once we do that, then we have to model that behavior for our children. I will share with you. I was one of the people on 9/11 or after 9/11 who were helping people to see who was alive and who was not. And there was sort of like a debriefing we would do as we met people, and we would process it. I was working on a mobile crisis team at the time, and we were helping them to process the feelings and emotions in that moment while we were going through a list to find out whether or not something was found or something wasn't. I will tell you the amount of people that would say, I wish I did this, or I wish I said this, while they were looking at this list. When your child walks out the door, I know it's hard to imagine, but you should, that what would you want that time or last time to be like if that was the last time you were going to see them? Now, I know that's a morbid thought process, but if you live your life that way, that every time you see your child, you think about it as, these are the last moments I could spend with them, it would give a whole new meaning to the matter that you spend with them at that time. It would give it an elevated feeling. Would you kiss them? Would you hug them? What would be your time that you want to spend with that child? When you live your life that way, there's no regrets about the decisions and choices you made. You don't say, I wish I would have said this, or I wish I would have done this. When you come home from work, what's the first thing you do? Do you run over to your children, or if they're not home yet when they walk in, do you run over and hug them, kiss them? Or is it a matter of, hi, how you doing, and you move on with your day and your life? The number one thing that a lot of parents do is they say to their child, hi, how was your day? The child says, fine, and the conversation is over. That's not affectionate. It's obligatory. What you want to do is more of like, how was your day? Who'd you sit next to in class? What'd you talk about during your lunch hour? What'd you play during sports? You want to get involved in your child's life by asking more questions and being involved with what they're involved in. Many times with our spouses, we want to share everything. We want to know about them. They want to know about us in a good relationship. But with our children, a lot of times, we minimize that because the affection is not as expressed. In which case, then our children growing up don't understand how to express their affection in an appropriate way also. Affection is modeled. And if you take a look at today, people are very much into the physical aspects of a relationship, but not the affection. And they have a lot of difficulty with it. In a lot of the cases of marriage counseling that I've done, there's a lot of the physical behavior related to only one thing, while the other person or both of them are saying there's lacking of something in the relationship. And generally what the lacking is the affection in the relationship. Appropriate touch in the relationship is incredibly important. It's one of the ways in which we show love to one another. Imagine, again, if your child was the last time you were going to see them, how would you want that time to go? And if each time you left your child, you had that reaction or reacted that way, and every time you came home to your child, you were excited and happy, what do you think that does to the relationship? What do you think that does to building a relationship? I want you to think about that when you think about what you're creating when you create that love and affection in the relationship. And again, when you model this for them, it teaches them to set the tone for a healthy relationship with their children and their children's children. And it changes a dynamic that is very important. If you have any questions about this, please write. If you have a comment about this, please state it. If you like this, please subscribe and hit like on the video. And if you disliked it and thought that I'm totally wrong about what I'm saying, please tell me why. I'll be very happy to respond. Also, if you would like to become a patron to this video, as somebody else did, please hit the subscribe star and join us. Thank you very much, and I hope you join us for the next video, where we're going to be discussing, giving time to the relationship. Thank you.